Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a quick Planet Zoo update. Yeah, usually I said I won't take too much of these screenshots and do a video only about the screenshots because, you know, we've seen so much. But this particular screenshot over here excites me quite a bit. Because there's so much to see in here we have to talk about. Starting with the very obvious fact that we have a much better look at, and yeah, I know, but at flowers, you know. These flowers are awesome. The reason why I'm pointing that out is that we had a lack of, well, proper flowers in Planet Coaster at the very beginning, and this is also why I was curious to see how they turn out to be in Planet Zoo. It's still a decoration thing, I know, but in a zoo, the nature and nature is a lot more important than in a theme park. So well, not more important. That's kind of leading into the wrong direction, but it is still a very, very important thing over here. However, there are a lot of things to see in this image which I want to point out. So we started with the flowers. Obviously you can see also some bushes, and I think this is like green leaf plant over here. Can't really tell what exactly this is, but yeah, it looks nice. I love these plank pieces over here. These seem to be like a fence type of thing. They have different sizes, as you can see. There are smaller ones, bigger ones. That's what she said. And also I have to admit that they seem all to be put in by hand. I really hope that these are maybe like bigger pieces, not only like one individual ones. We definitely have the individual ones, but this will be piece heavy again like crazy. Anyhow, so one of the next interesting bits over here is obviously this little bit on the left hand side over here. So it seems to be some some small water pond, like a little bit of a thing for the hyenas to, oh, it's actually the African wild dog, to drink from. You can also tell from the position over here that people can, and this is in particular very interesting to me, people can use those windows by not standing right in front of it, because the thing why I'm pointing that out is we have seen a lot of these kind of settings right now where people have been next to the fence and there is like a window in the fence, but in all of these images most likely the people have been right at the border of the fence. So actually it looked like the path was actually connected to the fence or whatever. But in this example over here, due to our flowers I pointed out at the very beginning, we can definitely tell that there is somewhat of a, I don't know, system that makes sure that people can also use windows from a further back position. This is very cool because this allows us a lot more freedom in the usage of windows and fences and open viewing galleries. So we knew obviously that people can view into, have a view into the enclosures from the path anyways, but we didn't really know how this works out with the fences, and it seems that they are pretty much using the window as it is supposed to be used, also by standing a little bit more far off. For me personally, that's quite important to know because you know, the pathfinding and AI features in a game are usually quite tricky to do, and in Planko this kind of stuff wouldn't really work. You would have, you know, the viewpoints they had at some points, they were pretty much yeah, a different system, but it would have been very finicky to bring that in this way in here. And I was also hoping that it, you know, that we don't need to connect the path too close to the fencing as with the shop, for example, because the shop has to be connected to the path. People won't walk over the grass or so to go there. And so in this specific example over here, I'm very, very happy to see that the guests are using the window from a little bit of a distance. So that's quite nice to see. So the next very important bit I want to point out is this wonderful water thing over here. Not only because we have water in a bigger little thing for our wild dog, we actually have somewhat that looks like a pipe going in here. Now, we know that we have energy in the game. We also know that we have to take care of clear water. And we know that we have a lot more management, and we know that this picture over here is hinted as a staff picture because with the staff only sign over here, this is definitely the staff path thing. And then there is this little thing in here, and it almost looks like as if this pipe was connected to this pillar over here that then goes into the ground. So going back to the different game that is called City Skylines, we know that City Skylines has a system where you have to connect pipes in the ground. I would love to see such a kind of system in Planet Zoo. I don't need to build those pipes all by myself, but I really hope that this is not only a drag and drop piece that you put anywhere, and if you have, for example, enough resources, it's working. I really hope that you need to connect this one, because there is definitely this pipe work going on over here, which definitely is connected to this little water trunk down here, where the wild dogs can get their fresh water out of. So it almost looks like this can be filled by a zookeeper over here. But this could be like the more advanced option. So if you have a little more money, a bit more of an infrastructure, this is kind of an automated system where the water is brought back into. Personally, I haven't seen that in any screenshot quite yet, because this is definitely not a purification system to make the water kind of clean to make them swim in there. That's definitely not the case. This is definitely to drink from. So this makes me wonder how much of a system in water flow and pipes and, you know, just in general water management is in here. So very exciting to see. And then the last bit I want to talk about is this car down here. Now, little disclaimer, everything we talked about yet is somewhat grounded and we know about from various articles. This one over here is pure speculation from my side. I'd like to point that out because otherwise people are complaining again that I'm only speculating, and now all these other things are pretty much confirmed. But this is something I am speculating now. We haven't seen this kind of Jeep at all. This is a new Jeep, and yes, for sure it could only be a scenery piece, but here's me questioning why on earth would we have a scenery piece that is a Jeep in a zoo game, and this in a stuff area. That makes no sense to me, honestly. I would love to believe that this is a stuff vehicle. Another reason for why I'm thinking this could be is because it's pretty detailed, to be honest. It almost looks like, and this is another argument that the die-hard Planet Coaster fans will definitely understand, it looks somewhat in size. It's not too big. It's actually in size of what a zookeeper can use. And here's my little thing. If we consider that Jurassic World Evolution had a system where a car is it's drivable and also drivable by the staff members, and you need that to kind of make sure to travel all the huge distances, I definitely have to say in a zoo game it makes a lot of sense that we have to cover a lot of distances. I mean, if you have read the staff journal, from the dev journal talking about the staff management yesterday, you know that they take a lot of thoughts into consideration when it comes to staff management, and there is a lot you have to consider that staff is not let me put it that way, that staff reaches their task quickly enough and they are not too slow. So they really hint at being quick and, you know, time efficient. So having a car for like bigger enclosures makes a lot of sense. So let's say you have a big savanna-esque enclosure with a lot of wild animals in there. Just imagine the zookeepers have to go to the ill animals by foot. Or by feet. Holy shit, this takes ages no matter where you put the staff building. So it's almost like we need a vehicle system, whether it's be a helicopter or it's a car. And, you know, helicopter, I don't really know if the size of the overall maps and stuff would, kind of justify a helicopter, but definitely a car would make sense. And also maybe it's again me too, interpreting too much into it, but this almost looks like as if the car would be able to go here. I don't know if it's even a track, if you need to lay down a track, if it's only weathered, is it's only the soil, but also because we don't have the grass in here. And I don't know, it's just, it's screaming at me as if this would be a stuff vehicle. The only thing I don't know is why there wouldn't be like an opening in here, but we don't have the whole screenshot. You don't know if there's any connection down here leading to the car. You don't know if they are able to go via the path, or maybe there is a system that you can't even use the cars on stuff pathing or pathing in general, because that would make a little bit of a difference between I think, well, it definitely wouldn't be that nice if they could just kind of drive into people, so it would make sense to have the path not interactable, or you can't interact with the path. I don't know, it's just, I don't think that they would do it, because it would definitely lead to a lot of problems between the AI moving around with the car and then just with the people. It's a different thing in Jurassic World Evolution because the guests haven't been animated that much, and the AI wasn't that in detail and in depth as it is in Planet Zoo. So I'm quite sure that this will be a thing they consider. And then the last argument that kind of pays into it is the recent development of Planet Coaster, for example. So with the Ghostbusters DLC, we got the Ecto 1 as a car that is drivable in game. Now here's my guess. The engine that is Planet Coaster and the engine that used Jurassic World Evolution obviously are both Cobra engines, but the game Planet Zoo is so much more closer to the Planet Coaster franchise, I mean, hell, it's even the same franchise, that you can't really translate one by one what happened in Jurassic World Evolution. However, you can translate that for some reason they tried to bring in a drivable vehicle into what is Planet Coaster, and since they are so similar to each other, they use basically the same resources, the same path system, the same AI system for the guests and stuff. The car in there is functional, so we don't have, you know, stuff interaction with cars quite yet, but it seems that they have been experimenting with that, and here's me doubting that they only did this for the Ecto 1 to have just as a gimmick in the game. I don't think so. It's a nice gimmick, obviously, but I don't know. It makes more sense to use it for something else as well, and we can agree that Planet Coaster is also kind of a test ground or a testing ground for Planet Zoo. So please just let me speculate and let me just believe that this car over here is not only scenery, that it is actually a drivable vehicle that the staff is using in game. Whether it be this one or a different one, I don't care, but it could be. The only thing that kind of is making me a little bit wonder is what exactly this is on the right hand side. It almost looks like a tippy tent over here, and like a somewhat of a campsite, and then the car would make sense as a scenery piece. To be honest, you know, I also have to point that out because else you would tell me in the comments anyway. So yeah, this could also be, but yeah, I think there's a fair amount of reasons why it could actually be a staff management asset, if you will. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little deep dive into this wonderful screenshot. I could have mentioned all the other scenery assets, but we have seen most of them many times already. So also these lovely shade things over here are nice, but again, we've seen that quite often already, so don't want to talk too much about this. Anyways, that's it for now. If you like the content, if you think you got something new out of here, if you like it, if you want to see more stuff in the future, make sure to subscribe. And as always, if you liked it, give it a like and let me know your feedback in the comments. Do you believe this is a staff vehicle? And also, do you believe this is kind of a water purification or water system that has to be connected to something else? Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next episode, and until then, have a great time. Bye bye.